If you help a man when he's down, he will shit on you when he's up. Never date a man, never help a man when he's at his lowest. Instead of feeling gratitude, he will feel resentment towards you. First of all, a broke man is a mean man who is in survival mode. Their burdens become your burdens. And if you're a nice, generous, empathetic person, they will feed off your energy, but they will view you as weak and gullible. Your big heart looks like a sweet lick to them. And as a giver, you have to know your limits because takers have no limits. The day that man finally gets on his feet and gets his ducks in a row, he will not hesitate to dog you out, dump you, and get with the female that he does not have to build with. Listen to Auntie. I'm speaking from experience. These men will destiny swap with you. When I met my ex-husband, I was 22 years old with my own apartment, my own car. I had 2 dogs. I was making my own money, doing everything on my own. I moved out of my mom's house when I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I have never, ever been back. When I met my ex-husband, he was 21, living at his mom's house, fresh out of jail, catching the bus to his job at Burger King. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why did you get with him? Love bombing. That's another story for another day. 9 years later, when we got divorced, he terminated our lease, making me and his kids homeless. Gave me a car that was in his name, purposely took it back, so me and his kids had to take the bus, turn the car in, so his new wife could ride in a brand new car. All while he drives a BMW and gives me less than $100 a month for 2 kids because he has to pay his rent. Like, I don't gotta pay rent. Child, he couldn't wait to humble me and try to ruin my life. Because the moment he met me, he was jealous of me and just used me to elevate his life. While I'm thinking we're happily married, starting a family, during the divorce, he told me he couldn't wait to make me a single mother. He gave me kids just to slow me down. We listen and we do not judge, because I am not the first woman nor the last woman that saw a man's potential and decided to build a life with him and ended up getting screwed in the end. Probably one of the biggest life lessons I've had, and if I can teach even one woman the game, I will feel justified about my journey. Don't fill out no application for that man. He would never fill out an application for you. Don't let that man drive your car. Make him walk. Don't put shit in your name for that man. No car, no apartment, no TV from Rent-A-Center. Don't let no man move into your spot, especially if you got kids. Don't lend that man no money and do not help him out with none of his bills. If he goes to jail, let him rot in there. Don't put no money on no books. Don't bring your pretty ass up to the jailhouse for no visitation and no jail calls. Stop cooking for your situationship. Broke men don't deserve no pussy. And the number 1 rule, don't get pregnant.
Peace and ascension. How y'all elevating today? It is Monica. Welcome to my channel, MUSE by Monica. I just wanted to come and say a quick message for you guys since I have a little time while I'm out here in nature, catching a good scene. While we wait for my ride. I'm not sleepy, y'all. I got big old bags on my head. Alright, so I don't have much time to talk, so I just want to let you guys know say a little word about experiencing people or meeting people where they are, experiencing people or dating people where they are, alright? And reminding you, myself, not to fall in love with potential. Fall in love with reality. All right, now this kind of goes into our last message about jumping timelines, right? Remember to fall in love or meet somebody in their reality. Meet somebody in the 3D. Experience somebody in the 3D. Experience people in reality. Don't experience people in your illusions, your fantasies, your dreams, your daydreams, because that's 5D stuff. That's stuff that is very much real, but it doesn't exist in the 3D. All right, you need to meet people and experience people for what they are showing you, for who they are right here, right now, for the place that they are, for the feeling that they are in right here, right now, and not people who are, and not what you are hoping they will be, or hoping what they will become, or hoping they will change into, okay? Because that's not only a detriment to you, but that's also a detriment to, or a hindrance to, their growth. You're seeing them, or you're holding them at a standard or in a light where they aren't yet, where they haven't fully elevated yet, where they haven't mastered yet. You're expecting them to meet you or love you or experiencing you back or give back to you on a frequency where that they aren't on yet, that they haven't cultivated yet, that they haven't themselves experienced. People can only meet you where they are. You can only experience people where they are. So don't put too much pressure on other people or even on yourself to meet an expectation or a reality that isn't them, that isn't you. Okay? You're not dating their potential, you're dating their reality. You're dating them right now. You're not falling in love with their potential, you're falling in love with them right now. You're experiencing who they are right now in this moment. You're in the present moment, and that is all that matters, is present moment. Not future moments, not past moments, not experiences that you've cultivated through other people, okay? You're not putting past trauma or past experiences or future expectations or future experiences on one person and trying to create something in the present moment. You are meeting them, they are meeting you right here, right now, where you are. Remember that you are an asset, not a liability. All right, you want people in your lives who are assets, not liabilities. People who are going to enhance you and grow you, cultivate you, allow you to evolve and change, who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to tell you about yourself with love, who's going to appreciate your light self and your shadow self, who is going to grow with you and change with you and cultivate with you so that you are a better person and that you guys can become the potential that you seek in each other. And this is not just like romantic, this is all relationships, familial, friendly, however you carry your relationships, however you carry your friendships. It is really important to remember who they are and who you're meeting. Not the fantasy version of them, not the infatuated version of them, not the potential. All right, not even the potential of a job, not even the potential of a house or of a location. You are meeting everything where it is. Meet stuff in its reality, okay? Just because you are able to jump timelines, or just because you are able to see things in different dimensions or experience different dimensions, experience things at a faster rate than other people, just because you can see the potential in others doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to see the potential in themselves. You can mess up timelines or disturb timelines or even disturb people's paths or journeys by not meeting them where they are, or pushing potentials or pushing experiences where people aren't ready to be met. If they aren't ready to meet you there, don't force them there. Meet people where they are. let people meet you where you are. You can, and then you can grow into what you need to be and who you need to be, and they can do the same. And this gives everyone the freedom and the space to not feel constrained or hindered or possessed or like stuck. You know, you're free. You're you're a free bird. You can do what you want. You can go where you want. You can experience what you want, and that gives you grace. That gives them grace. Okay. I'm waiting for a ride, so I'm just talking to you guys in the midst of waiting, looking at this beautiful waterfall. All right, out here in Texas. So that's all I have for you guys. That's just the message. I just want to say a little word about you guys meeting people where they are. Urgent message, y'all. Someone needs to hear this very urgently. Your ancestors and angels and spirit team want you to know this. It's an urgent message for you. Okay. So take it and apply it to your life as need be. Apply it where you need be. I hope this message finds you right on time. You are the co-creator of your life. You have free will, you have free choice, but you are in co-creation with the universe. Okay? So I will catch you guys in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Till next time.
You're wasting your energy, and you are dating for potential, not dating for who is in front of you right now. You are constantly looking in the future, but you have to accept this person for who they are. And if you don't like it, you don't have to deal with it. It's okay to walk away, but we don't walk away because we are scared of our own demons. We are scared to be alone with our own demons. You will start coming to the light once you stand firmly in the darkness. Don't be scared of the dark. We all have dark and light. But we have to tackle the inner demons within ourselves and not allow ourselves to be distracted by the shadow work that we all have to do here. We all have to do shadow work, and you can deal with this person while you're doing your shadow work and while they're doing their shadow work, but you have to accept them.
Another reason why you should avoid struggle love, because essentially struggle love and dating for his potential go hand in hand, or date a man for his potential, is because ultimately you should not have to be his motivation. And let me rephrase that. You shouldn't have to be the person that pushes him. Okay? So what I mean by that is this. There's nothing wrong with a man using his love for you and his desire to make you happy and pour into you as part of his motivation to achieve more. You know, there's nothing wrong with him saying, yo, I do this because I want to provide this for my woman, right? But when you have to be his motivation in the sense that you have to push and pull and drag him to that point, this is a problem, all right? So again, it starts with, does his vision and your vision line up together? Because if they don't, this is where all things start to fall apart. And so now, using that example of you want him to own the plumbing company, he just wants to be the plumber. Well, you will find yourself in a situation where you constantly have to be on him. You constantly have to push him. There are some situations where the woman, in even less simpler dynamics, has to go as far as finding the job for the man. So I can't tell you how many situations I've seen where woman's dating a man, he's out of work, and he doesn't even get himself up to go apply. No, she puts together the resume, she goes online, she submits the resume, she is finding the man work. And then you'll have situations where she's finding him jobs and the man's like, nah, I don't like that one. Nah, I don't like that. Like, he's shooting down the opportunities she's even trying to present. It's like, dang, you're not even doing the work to find it. Then you want to be picky. Beggars shouldn't be choosers in this type of situation. But yeah, you being super picky. And then when you do go on an interview, because you're not really serious about getting the job, the man here, you bomb the interview. You don't take it serious, because you're not truly invested in it. So here's the thing. The man has to be motivated enough within himself to want to invest in the process of it. Because when we don't have to invest, we have less respect. We give it less value. All right. And we're a lot more likely to just not care when things don't work out because we didn't lose anything.
You should not be dating a man for his potential, who he could potentially come at some point. You should be dating a man for who he shows you to be right then and there. If you see him being rude or disrespectful and you think, oh, but if only I got my hands on him, I could fix him. He has so much potential. I think there's so much that's possible for him. Right now, he's just going through a hard time. Right now, he's wounded. He's struggling a bit. But I know that if I could really help him get on his feet or work through some of his issues, he could really be something someday. That's called codependency. If he's really struggling, he's really wounded, he's really not finding his way, that's who he's showing you he is. Believe him. Let him find his way. What happens is we as women get into these relationships and we think we are there to save and fix everyone. You will forever be in round after round after round of that. Date men who have already started to achieve their potential, or if they're dreaming of something great, they're doing everything right now, showcasing how they're getting towards that dream, how they're making that come true. There's no saving anybody. Save yourself. Don't date someone's potential. Date how they actually show up, what they really present with.
Stop falling for potential. Stop that shit. Cut it the fuck out. Like, I know they're great. I know they probably everything you want, and I know they fine as hell. They always fine as hell. But they are not what you need. They are not healed. They can't communicate. Hell, they barely text you back. Stop. Listen, for all the lovers out there like me, we have to start seeing people for where they are at, not for where we want them to be. Because they're not that.
God, everything that I like about you is this idea of what I think you're going to be or what I think that we can be. And then we as females will stay in a situation because we're sitting there and we're hoping and we're praying that what we see is going to become what we see in our head.
We have to stop dating off of potential, because the dangerous thing is the potential we place on people is one thing, but we also have to be careful of the potential they place in our ears too. Don't be fooled by their promises, apologies, or their slick language. Instead, pay attention to the person that's in front of you, because the potential you see or what they led you to believe may never come.
Ladies, please stop dating for potential. I beg you. All you're doing is setting yourself up for disappointment. The potential you see might not actually materialize, and you'll just end up disappointed and resentful. And don't forget, unfulfilled. Then you are wasting your time, which you will never get back, on building a relationship with someone who you don't actually have long-term compatibility with. A relationship that is more likely to not work in the future because you already know that this is not what you want. You're just hoping that it becomes what you want. Then you get into an unhealthy attachment because you think that this person needs to change in order to actually fulfill your needs, and that just creates a very unhealthy ecosystem. On top of that, you're ignoring potential partners and potential growth opportunities because you're sitting there trying to help this person grow into becoming the person you want them to be. It's a lot of wasted energy. You don't do it. Instead, use that energy to potentially become the best version of yourself.
So somebody asked me today, Truth, should I stay with somebody while they get their life together? And my answer was this: it depends on circumstances, it depends on how old they are, and it depends on how good of a person they are, right? But we also have to factor in this, right? I am against it at this big age only because I'm closer to 40, and I feel like if you don't have your stuff together now, I am not willing to stick around to figure out if you'll get it later on. What you have to understand is that most people date the people that they need when they are broke, when they are down and out, when they are vulnerable, when they're effed up. Then they switch up on you and date the people that they actually want when they have their ish together. So one thing that I would never be is a glorified spot holder. I'm gonna keep it 100. My ride or die days are over. My dating for potential is over. My trying to give you the benefit of the doubt or seeing good in you that nobody else has seen in you, those days are over because life is short. I could potentially be with the person that already comes fully equipped. Relationships are about progression. It's not about perfection. But if you haven't progressed on your own, it is not up to me to help you further progress. Grab my books today. If you need to book a session, I give some of the best advice in the world. Enjoy your Sunday. I'm gone.
While I don't necessarily condone dating someone for their potential, I always say date people for their capacity.
Ooh.
And that's when we talk about being equally yoked.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's less about potential. It's literally what's their capacity to succeed, to accomplish, and to take care of you and to be a provider. And you know a provider when you see one.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think anybody needs to be a millionaire. If you're making great money, they're making great money. I mean, when you come together, I think that it's awesome. And if the lifestyles are similar, I feel like money is a part of that top 5 priority.
Absolutely.
I definitely don't think it should be number 1. I definitely think values and high moral character should be at the very top of that list. And if you have that and you have the capacity to be something amazing, and I see that in you and you're building it and you're actually in the process of making that come to fruition, I'm ready to stick it through. Are you a good human being?
A man that has potential and a man that's in process are two different things. I'm going to explain why you need to choose the man in process. I'll explain the finish line theory as well. A man that has potential literally means nothing. Everybody has potential. Everybody has potential until it's tapped in on, until somebody does something about it. But potential means absolutely nothing. Nil, nana, kaka. In process means 2 things. Number 1, he has a plan. Number 2, he's done something in his past. It doesn't matter where he's specifically at, because guys will do this. But does he have a plan? And has he done anything in his past? Does he have a track record? These 2 things are very important for a guy, distinguishing a guy that's in process or that just has potential. Because if you're going to say, oh, he has potential, he's a nice guy, that means nothing. Does he have a track record of doing, and does he have a plan? That's what it means to be in process. Now, for the whole finish line thing. Now, you guys want to say, well, I don't want any one of those 2. I want a guy at the finish line. Go ahead. Be my guest. But let me tell you something. You will be competing and scratching and clawing just to get noticed by those guys because the math don't math. They have all the options and they will take their time. And they know that when they hit the finish line or whatever perceived idea of the finish line that you have, amongst the general norms of society, they will choose very, very specifically. And they know that it's conditional based on what they already have. They know that. They're not idiots. They ain't stupid. So they know that you're there a little bit for what they bring to the table, not them as a person, but just to be aware to be treated as such. That's what comes along with it when you're not with a guy during the process. That's what comes along when you choose him when he's reached his peak. He's going to treat you as such. And most of the time, he will choose to exercise how he feels need be. Keep this in mind.
No, but like he has potential. He has potential. Does he? Does he? Or are you seeing something that's not there because you want this so bad? I'm going to need you to value yourself more than that. Okay? It's better to be alone than to be with somebody that's not ready to be in a relationship. That's just unfit to be in a relationship. Maybe just for now. And be miserable because you're falling for potential and then you're mad at them because they're not living to their true potential that you wanted them to live at. Maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they want to stay at where they're at right now for the rest of their lives. And you're here making up things, falling for potential. Come on, be for real.
The reality is that for every successful story of dating a man's potential or struggle love, I could give you 1,000 more of disaster, of dismay, of emotional damage that has now had ongoing repercussions for that woman. All right? So let's break it down because I know just saying that isn't enough. Let me fully explain why I am not in agreement with this whole dating for his potential. And right off the bat, the first point I want to make is that Sometimes potential is a figment of your imagination. So listen, I think there's an argument to be made that everyone has potential. Like everyone has this potential of reaching a higher level in life, so to speak, right?
Someone asked me why I didn't date a guy that I liked because he could potentially make money in the future, and I want to talk about that. My desire is to date providers, and that comes at all income levels. You don't have to be extremely wealthy to be a provider. It's just your mindset. So the reason why I did not continue to date the person in question is because they were not able to give me what I desired, which was a provider. Just because I liked him didn't mean I was going to jeopardize the future version of myself for fleeting feelings of right now. The future version of myself wants me to marry a provider because she knows the life she wants to give her children. She knows the life she wants to give her husband. And if you can't provide, it's not going to be possible. Feelings are easy to come by. Feelings are fleeting. But what really matters is, do they share the same values? Do they know how to communicate their feelings, their emotions? And those factors are more important to me than just, oh yeah, I like him. He's cute. He gives me butterflies. I guess the main thing is that you need to know that what you desire is out there. What you desire is desiring you. And if you have a list of 10 things and the person only brings 4, 5, or 6, and you know that you could get 7, 8, or 9, go for the 7, 8, or 9. Because while you're wasting your time, wasting your energy with something that is not aligned with your higher self, you're just getting further and further away from the person you know you can be. Anyway, I'm off to happy hour. My husband is there waiting for me. I can just feel it. Either way, it's gonna be an amazing night, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Kisses. I had to come back and show you guys my hair. Oh my God, I'm literally obsessed.
No matter how attractive a person's personality may be, you will always have to date their reality. If you focus on someone's potential when dating, you risk disregarding who they actually are in the present. Dating potential is falling into a trap of what could be instead of accepting the situation for what it actually is. Everybody has potential, everybody has the ability to become something, but reality will bring you back to the fact that potential isn't always actualized. Hanging your hopes on what somebody could be when they aren't showing you characteristics and behaviors that will lead to a desirable outcome is very risky. Take precaution. Don't be that person that when you eventually open your eyes, you realize that it's too late. You've given way too much time to someone that was never deserving of you in the first place, all in the name of potential. When you date potential, you run the risk of ignoring red flags. You find yourself settling for less. And most importantly, you find yourself talking yourself out of things that you actually want in a person. The whole point of dating in its simplest form is to ask each other pertinent questions. Do we complement each other? Are we on the same page? Are we going in the same direction? Etc, etc. It's important to not live in a fantasy world, but to actually live in the real world, because you'll find that there are a lot of unserious people. There are a lot of people that are not actually doing anything with themselves. People that are just selling people hopes and dreams. It's only until you go behind the veil that you realize that people aren't actually who they say they are. I, for one, think it's extremely foolish to date potential. Your time's too precious to bank it on shoulda, woulda, couldas. People are continuously showing us who they are, and we have no choice but to believe them. At the end of the day, the choice is yours. You can either risk it for a chocolate biscuit and date potential, or you can actually go for someone who knows who they are and is certain about where they're going.
There's nothing more off-putting than a man that hasn't got his ish together. I'm talking about the basics. Know what you're doing with your life, where you want to be in your career, what have you acquired. Not acquiring the world. Get your finances together. Make sure you know how to budget. These are basic things, not unrealistic things.
What do you say to people that are always trying to fix the person that they're with and they just are dating for potential? How do you how do you stop yourself from doing that?
This pattern that you have of choosing people with potential, deeply connect with the pain it causes you and has always caused you. Deeply connect with the cost of this and how utterly painful it's been for you to be with people who I spent 5 years or 10 years with that person and they never came through, or they never changed in the ways that I wanted, and now I'm panicked because of my timeline as a result. Can I really stomach that happening again? What will I think of myself? How will I feel about my life if I allow that to happen again?